Mythics. Oh, hello. What have I got on my t-shirt? How are we? Is that part of the... No, that is a bit of a stain. Sorry about that. There you go. What a messy pup. My name is Ken Boyter, the Messy Pup. This is Loquacious. And we are here because this is the Edra Scrolls, Ramblings of a Storyteller, Edra Tales Twitch channel, and I do export these over to the Edra Tales YouTube channel. So if you prefer to watch it over there, go watch it over there, but they're not live. They're not live. So, wonder where you were. Yes, I know. I do apologise. Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, I know you're not taking the mickey there, Lee Rin, but good afternoon sums it up. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. I've just been really tired recently. Just been really tired. I think that's because I'm, I've taken on too much again. I'm trying to do too many projects. I'm working, up till midnight, that kind of thing. I did go out last night as well. I know, a rarity. I did go out. And I'm just slightly curious to why the camera... Am I all in soft focus? It all looks a bit romantic. So I'm not quite sure why that is the case. But there we go. Sorry about that. Let me see if the camera's... No, it must just be the way that the light is coming through the dungeon. Had to restart the chat window, was tiny. Oh, okay. Yeah. Bit glitchy. Maybe it's a glitch then on Twitch. A glitch on Twitch. So thank you to all of those that have followed the channel. If you do want to comment, talking about comments, you do need to follow the channel. Although, that's what I read, but maybe you don't anymore. Maybe you can just comment without following the channel. If that's the case, brilliant. Excellent. But if you would like to follow the channel, it does help with the algorithms. Thank you, Adam. Adam Mitchell, thank you so much for following. We're on 59 followers. Good morning, Dylan. Too early for romantic Ken. I've heard that a lot over the years, Dylan. I have heard that a lot. It was on my end. Okay, very tired and sad. Don't know you remember the horse I liked so much. Oh, the horse you liked. Was that in one of the game books we did? Or was that one of the RPGs that you've been playing? Because I do remember you like game books. Yeah, it's odd, this romantic lighting. It's weird. How is Grocklesnook? Grocklesnook's alright. He's feeling a bit hungover. Lyrians, but apologies if I wasn't a bundle of energy last week. Yesterday was 26 years to the day Mum left this world. Oh, bless. Big hugs to Lee Rin. I've always been gloomy during the first week of July for the last quarter of a century, therefore. Yeah, that is totally understandable. Totally understandable. No need to apologise for that. I always think, moods are temporary. They shift. So if you're in a good mood, that's not going to last. If you're in a bad mood or a sad mood, that's not going to last. If you're in an angry mood, that's not going to last. So our emotions are temporary, aren't they? So it's no problem. Yeah. Martha's put it, no, a horse I loved named Luca. He's getting sold alongside his buddy. Oh, is this in real life? This is in real life. Oh, okay, so what, locally to you, Martha, the horse is getting sold. Oh, bless. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, big hugs to Lee Rin there, big hugs to Lee Rin. And big hugs to Martha as well. It's never nice when, things change, basically, in this world. Things change. And I guess it's how we react to them and sending you a hug. Yeah, exactly. So there we are. So, yeah. Okay, so what have we got going on? Look at that. Look at the love in the fellowship there. That's lovely to see. That's what it's about. It really helps, doesn't it? If you're surrounded by kind people, that really helps. Definitely. So yes, there wasn't a live stream last night, as I posted up onto the group and onto my own personal Facebook page, timeline, because I went out for a meal at the Harvester. Who doesn't like the Harvester? The horses are owned. Oh, the horses the owner has left. Oh, I can't stand one that bit me in the back. Oh my God, back of the head. The other one is Young and Dumb. Oh, I see. So there's a new owner's come in. They've taken their horses, or they've been sold, and then there's new horses that have come in. Yeah, they seem a bit unruly, Martha. They seem a bit unruly. So, just to let you know, just to do a bit of advertising, this is a sponsored. This show is sponsored by Of Magic and Monkeys, an Edra Tales novel by Loquacious McCarbre. That's me. That's me. It is still available to buy hardback at the moment. It's only available in hardback, first edition, and it is available from my website. If you go to edratales.com, and then you'll find the links of Magic and Monkey, or go to the shop, it should be there, and then you can purchase your copy. I've only put shipping up for the UK, so it's only available really to buy in the UK. If you'd like to buy it and you live overseas, then you need to contact me personally, because I need to work out the postage. For some reason, I can only put UK shipping on there, so I don't quite understand it. And maybe I'm not paying enough for my website in order to have multiple layers of shipping, if you like. You know, I can have one item that can be shipped to all over the country, all over the world, because at the moment, as soon as I put a shipping price in, it's just one shipping price. So if I put £10 in shipping, yeah, that covers the rest of the world, but the UK is far too much for the UK. So I've only put it at the UK at the moment. A burrower went to a harvester. Yeah, absolutely. Wish I could buy Luke's and his best buddy, but I don't have the space or the money for them. Yeah, I know. Well, horses are very, very expensive. Well, they are in this country. To keep a horse, you've got to be immensely wealthy. They're just very expensive, and you know, quite rightly, you've got to look after them properly. So there we go. So Of Magic and Monkeys, it's the first Edra Tales novel in the series. Now these are going to be all standalone books. They're all going to be standalone books. Morning, Sally. No worries, no worries. And it's £10. Hardback, £10, plus it's £3 postage if you live in the UK. I'm not sure what it is for the rest of the world, but I will work it out for you if you so desire. So there you go. So that is Of Magic and Monkeys. And the other thing that I'm plugging today is another one. This episode is also sponsored by The Crooked Crown. It is a card game that myself and Kedrick Winks have designed, co-designed. Steal the crown, win the game. It's a lovely little card game. It's 20 minutes long, 20-25 minutes long. It's 3 to 6 players. There's some beautiful artwork in there by Alberto Sanchez Ballesteros. Look at that. He's the wild card. He's got any ability as that you choose. That's a spyglass. That's a tasty pie glass. No, just a tasty pie. It's still early in the morning for me. That is an ambush card. So these cards, they all help you. That's a steal card. Very valuable in the last couple of rounds, as you can imagine. These cards all help you find and steal the Crooked Crown. That is the aim of the game. There's only one card that is the Crooked Crown. And if you are the player at the end of 8 rounds holding this in your grubby little goblin hands, you are the next king or queen of the land. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of take that. With the ambush cards, that means you reduce other players' cards down. They can't play with as many cards. However, if you eat a tasty pie, then you go back up, or you can gain cards. You can play with more cards. So there we are. So it's a great little fun game. It was launched at the UK Games Expo in Birmingham at the beginning of June. And we had a lot of fun. There's a lot of people. I demoed it so many times. I must have demoed it over easily 100 times, I would say, over the 3 days, maybe even more. And every single time I demoed it, everybody just loved it. Everybody was laughing and joking. Not everybody bought it, obviously, but we did sell 60 copies. So, that's pretty impressive. For a brand new game, nobody's ever heard of it. So there we go. So the Crooked Crown. So that is available on Amazon, and if you got Prime, you'll get free shipping. That's available on Amazon. Or if you're in America or Canada, go to Outset Media, or you can go to cheatwell.com if you are in the UK, and you can order it from them. But if you order it directly from the manufacturer, I believe you will be paying shipping. So if you order it from Amazon and you've got Prime, then I'm pretty sure it's free shipping. So there we go, the Crooked Crown, hurrah! Kedrick and I were very proud of that game. It's good, and that's, you know, it was a thrill to actually get a game published, because as you know, having watched this for a number of years now, you know, I've put a lot of time and effort into projects, and it's nice to see them being recognised, you know, by other people, that they're good enough that they want to actually invest in that product. You know, so it's just a thrill to see it, and then to see the actual final product. But also, more so, to see complete strangers to me absolutely enjoying the game. It was great. Don't forget that it is Wizard approved. Ian bought one. Yes, yeah, that is a very good point. It is Wizard approved. Sir Ian Livingston bought a copy. Sir Ian, because I kind of know Sir Ian Livingston. I know Sir Ian Livingston through John. Through John? I've never called him John. Through Jonathan Green, who knows him very, very well, because Jonathan's written game books for the Fighting Fantasy series, and he's just, you know, and he's also written, he's co-written the latest Steve Jackson Fighting Fantasy books. So, you know, Jonathan knows him over the years, loads. So I was kind of introduced to him via Jonathan. Although I did go up to him actually once at the UK Games Expo, just on my own, and just told him about I had a YouTube channel and all of that. So, and he's very good. He kind of remembers, because one year I went, "You don't remember me, do you?" And he went, "Yeah, you got that YouTube channel." And I think he remembered the name of the YouTube channel as well. So that, you know, testament to the guy. No wonder he's a sir. So yeah, thank you for that, Martha. Dylan has put "Stealing a Crown." That'll be popular with Meghan and Well, that's the cutthroat business of being a royal, you know, trying to be the next king or queen. Sometimes you have to do that. And you know, on a serious note, if you think about it, rulers, leaders of any period in time, any history in time, are only there because of strength. And they've just gone, yeah, I'm going to be king, or I'm going to be queen. And then they have the armies, they have enough money to pay armies to then back that up. It's always been a strength. Even today, even though you think, yeah, but it's democracy, Ken. We just voted in a general election. Yeah, but you look at the system, we're only allowed to do this because there's a massive army supporting the system. Yeah, that would intervene if someone just decided, right, I've built up an army over... Say I was mega rich and I built up a private army over the last 20 years... They're going to kick back, aren't they? They're not just going to let me swan in and take over. But that could happen. You know, if I built up an army that was bigger than the UK army, you could stage a coup, and that's what happens in other countries. So, no, you know, I hate to say it, but it's basically who's got the biggest army. Just like Catan. Tabletop RPGs potentially becoming a national hobby sport like chess. If Ian gets really successful, perchance. Yeah, it could well be. He has just... I mean, this is testament to what a legend he is. Ian just opened an academy school in the UK that is state-of-the-art. It's brand new. I think they must have built the building from scratch, or they've refurbished a building already. Ken the Bond villain. Well, I'll get onto that in a minute, Dylan. But... yes, they've built this academy school that is really, you know, hearing Ian talk about it, he's very passionate about it, and he's saying about, you know, we want people to be innovators and creators and push forward and, you know, like give them opportunities to explore and actually think for themselves. And that's kind of what you need. You need schools. I think schools are a little bit outdated now. Because there's loads of stuff that we learn that nobody uses, that we could all just look up online. I don't know. Sally will have a different opinion on this. But surely if you're good at something, you should be encouraged and do that loads. I don't know. I've not really thought it through. But anyway, I like the idea of Sir Ian opening an academy because you know he's a good guy. You know he's going to want people to do well and to be, you know, innovative and creative and really just give them that opportunity. Ken the Bond villain, huh? Well, no, it's not me wanting that system that whoever has the largest army wins. But when you look back in history, that's how it's always been. And I didn't want that because I thought, oh yeah, democracy, yeah, it's all done on peace and the best way to achieve things is via peace talks, which it is. But when you look back on history, the actual reality of it, and I remember thinking, I can't remember what I read to make me feel that, but I read a fantasy book where I thought, oh yeah, that's just the reality. If you look back in England anyway, the kings and queens, you know, they were a large, you know, one king might dispute, you know, a supposed king might say, no, I'm the rightful king, and dispute the crown. And if they just managed to get a bigger army, they would win. War of the Roses, you know, Cromwell, when he deposed the king. It's like he just did it via violence. So, you know. Yeah, Sally's Pot, I do. I still think it's the best process that exists. Yes, I don't really know what an alternative is, but maybe just update what they learn. I don't know. It's tricky. It is tricky. I'll just play video games all day. That's cool. Despite its flaws. I meant democracy. Oh, so yeah, democracy. Yeah, democracy. No, it is. Don't get me wrong. Democracy is the best process there is. But even democracy was built on violence. That's what I'm trying to say. If you look back in our history in the UK, it wasn't, the tribe leaders didn't get around together and go, well, who should be ultimate king then or queen? Should we just, you know, play rock, paper, scissors? Should we talk about this? No, they went to war, and whoever was victorious then, you know, ruled that clan as well, and then it just expanded out like that. And then you get a period of peace, if we're lucky, in which we have had, so I'm very grateful to that. But, yeah, jokes about conservatives are getting a bit laboured now. I haven't got the bell. I knew Dylan was going to present me with an opportunity to ring the bell. Here it is. Sadly true, the final dynasty of China was actually Mongolian invaders who overthrew the Ming dynasty. There you go. Yeah, see, I don't know too much about the Chinese dynasties, but there you go. So even if there's, you know, 100, 200, 300, 400 years worth of peace, that was built off of violence. Now, I much prefer the peace times, obviously. But I learned that through reading fantasy books. Because obviously fantasy lends itself to have stories about, you know, kings or queens being overthrown, uprisings, you know, all of that. It lends itself. It's a genre that, you know, delves into that subject matter. And then you kind of go, oh yeah, if that's like Game of Thrones, for example, that's based on War of the Roses. And there is a chilling moment in Game of Thrones, without spoiling it too much, where one of the characters discovers that the king to be, the heir of the throne, is actually illegitimate. He's not the true offspring of the king, and he learns that out. So he tries to have a coup and sort of take over and say, we can't have an illegitimate heir on the throne. But he doesn't control the army. So all that happens is the king and, well, the queen it is, that's in power, just kills him. Just, you know, he thinks he's bought the his army, you know, because he has an army. But then there's the actual King's Guard that are paid for by the king. So the King's Guard, you're going to be loyal to the person that pays you as a soldier. You're going to be loyal to the person that pays you. So it's chilling, but you know, hey, this is a cheerful chat. But it's very central theme to fantasy books or fantasy board games or games. Feeling old. It is 20 years since I went to high school. Wow, Martha, 20 years. Well, not to trump you and say, well, I'm doing one better. However, when did I leave? I left in 89. So that's 90. So, yeah, hang on. 90 to 2000 is 10 years. So, and then 2000 to 20 is now 25 years. 25 years I left. Oh, okay. You're closer to my age than I thought, Martha. Imagine if Game of Thrones was democratic election. Yeah, it wouldn't be as an interesting story, would it? Hello, Jonathan. Hello, sir. It's 30 years since you left university? No. Are you older than me? You're not older than me. You are older than me. Sally's older than me. Really? 89 without a prefix, Ken. Prefix? What's that? I don't understand that, Dylan. Sorry. I left school too early to understand that. 30 since you left university. I am. We discussed this before. I know, Jonathan, but I'm not going to remember. I'm too old. Too old to remember. Oh, I see. Yeah, I left school in 89 AD. Yeah, so Jonathan, if you just joined us, we were talking about how every democracy around the world was based off of violence, because that's how structures and that's how systems come into place. Be it a dictatorship, be it a democracy, at some point in that country's history there would have been a war, and that one side would have been dominant, and then even if peace reigned for the next 500-600 years, that democracy was still based off violence. And I was just saying, I learnt that. That came to my head. I learnt that through reading fantasy. I'm glad I'm not in school anymore. Those jerks can go to heck for all I care. Go to hell for all I care. Most of them bullied me. Well then, yeah, exactly. That's boo and hiss them, Martha. That's horrible. We are descendants of the most successful psychopaths. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it boils down to. That is what it boils down to, which is a horrible thing to think about, because you'd rather it wasn't the case. Anywho, talking of successful psychopaths, how are you, Jonathan? R.A.P. Louis the R.I.P. Louis XVI, whom Napoleon, to his credit, eulogized as trying to make a difference before he was literally beheaded. There you go, as a scapegoat for the corruption of his incompetent nobles. There we go. It's all about the beheadings. So anyway, what creative projects have you been up to? Let me know in the comments what you've been up to. I've been busy doing game design, board game design, and polishing that up, because I've got a few little loose ends to tie up. I have been working on my Devilish Deaths game. Deliciously difficult murders to solve. Nothing, you're burnt out. That's fair enough, Martha. Yeah, the last couple of days I've been feeling a bit burnt out. So I just, like you, I just said, you know what, I'm not going to do anything today. So yesterday I hardly did anything. Are no car zones described from successful cycle? Dylan, you lured me in there. I thought it was a serious comment. So, look at this, the murder mystery. This is case 1 of my murder mystery. Murder at the Royal. Murder at the Royal. Jonathan I've been battling to get the Box of Delights RPG finished. It's not there yet. I have a deadline hang on of a week, because we're going to Italy mid-July. Wow, you're cutting it fine there, Jonathan. He's like, I know, I bloody well know. Well, good luck. Are you almost finished, though? Is it doable? Because a week it isn't a lot. I guess if you're working on it full time, then you probably will do it. So presumably it's doable. And have a lovely, lovely holiday in Italy. I've been to Italy. It's gorgeous. Apparently, neither Louis nor Mary Antoinette were as cruel as the revolutionaries smeared them as. Yeah, again, victors always write the history, don't they? And they did their best to actually help people before storming of the Bastilles. Yeah, exactly. There's always a bit of fudging going on with the truth. Jonathan's but I hope so. Yeah. Well, good luck, Jonathan. I'm sure you can do it. I can solve every murder mystery. It was the author. Maybe it wasn't, though. Maybe it wasn't. Definitely was in Murder, She Wrote. Yeah, so I've got a murder mystery game, and this is the setting of case 1. You'll get it as like a newspaper sheet. I thought it'd be quite fun to have it as a newspaper sheet. It's set in 1921, in the 20s. So there's a little bit with the setting, and you would read this out before you started the game. Murder at the Royal. Amateur sleuths step in where police are slow to act. So players, amateur sleuths. And I did start to think, why would 6 amateurs, because it's a game, it plays up to 6 people. Why would 6 people be near a murder? So I had to have it. So it's set in a hotel. So they're all staying at the hotel. It takes place, a lot of the action takes place in the casino. And so you happen to be in the hotel when the murder occurs. Are the rainbow hues of the Vients suburb of Mario in your itinerary, John? Okay, that's over my head. That question to Jonathan. So so I've been working on that. So I've written that up and designed a little newspaper for Devilish Deaths. I've also so I'm making a brand new prototype because we play tested it once. It went very, very well. Sally and her family. It's a 3-player play test. It went very, very well. Lots of positive feedbacks. A few tweaks here and there. But as a whole, the game mechanics worked. They enjoyed that. It seemed to flow. And also the actual case was pretty solid. The actual murder. But I just needed to weave in a few more clues. So I've done that. And then I've now printed off the board again. So I've got the board. Here's the old board. And because this is a prototype, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. So I've just done it on sort of flimsy card, really. So this is the board. It's quite a big board, as you can imagine. Because what you do is you put the location cards down, you put all the witness cards down, and then you have other things like clues, forensics, detection power, hints, hunches. What else we got? We got personal objectives, and we've also got prestige cards. And there's a prestige track that as you discover more and more clues or you question witnesses, you gain prestige. And when you gain prestige, that unlocks other things throughout the game. So hopefully it's quite the game is quite responsive to the players as they play it. So I've updated the board because I hadn't put these things on the prestige track. So gain 1 deduction power card. So when you reach a certain number of prestige points, you'll be gaining more deduction cards. As Jessica Fletcher always happened in present. Yeah, exactly. She did. 13 years later, still fondly remember the city of shining waters and gondolas. Oh, you're talking about Italy. Large yet combat. Much like Talisman Overworld board. Yes. So the Fighting Fantasy did the 4th edition of Talisman, and it's a big board. It folds out. It's like 6 folds in it. And I thought, actually, that's a nice size board for this. Because I wanted all the cards to be on the board. I didn't want them just to be higgledy-piggledy placed anywhere. So they're actually on the board. So I kind of really like that. I think that looks quite cool. It adds atmosphere because ultimately what you're going to be doing is hopefully in the base game you'd have 3 different cases. So you'd have well, Murder at the Royal. That's actually quite a better title, isn't it? The first case is called Lost in the Shuffle, but I might rename it as Murder at the Royal. That's maybe a better title, isn't it? So you have Murder at the Royal. Then there's 2 other cases. Now, rather than just, you know, it's like with the board, it's blank, if you see what I mean. So each case has its own cards, own room cards, own witness cards, and as I just showed you there, its own. I've already lost it. Where did I put the? Oh no, it's there. Yeah, it's their own hunch cards and their own cards. So all you do is for a new case, you play it on the same board, but you just get the new cards. So you get the new location cards. So the new location might be a theatre. So the new location cards, it's always 15 locations to explore. It might be that, you know, one of them's the projection room, one of them's the main auditorium of the theatre, one of them's, you know, the toilets, one of them's the manager's office, one of them's the foyer, yeah, one of them might be the car park. I don't know, you know. So you got 15 locations to explore of one building or one location, if you like. But it all comes in cards. So you buy the base game. There's 3 cases. When we play tested it before, it was 3 hours long. It took them about 2.5, 3 hours to solve the case, which I thought was fine, acceptable, because it's a one-shot deal, you know, and that's 3 hours worth of gameplay. That's pretty good. So a game like Crooked Crown obviously is not going to cost you as much as £15, but that's a 20-minute game. So you can play that 3, 6, 9. You can play the Crooked Crown 9 times in 3 hours, whereas you can only play this case once in 3 hours. So I thought that's quite a good ratio. I didn't really base it off the Crooked Crown, but, you know, I played a murder mystery with my son and his wife at Christmas time. You know, obviously a published murder mystery game already, that basically just gives you all the clues in a big envelope, and that you just spread them all out. There's no board, there's no cards, nothing. It's just clues. There's a setting as well. Obviously, you read out the setting to the case, and these are meant to be cold cases that haven't been solved. And it took us 3 hours. We just played it all the way through. It was great. It was good fun. So I'm quite happy with 3-hour gameplay. That's not a problem. And then once you've done that case, you just put all the cards away back in the box, and you take the next set of cards out, and you lay the next location cards out and the next witness cards out, and you play the same. You can play the same amateur sleuth, because I've got it in the game where you level up. So the more you level up, you know, the more powerful your sleuth becomes, and more experienced and has more prestige, then the more it can help you solve the cases further down the line. Just learnt from a more cheery friend that this week is apparently International Shark Week. No wonder Jaws 1 and 2 are on special £2 for the iTunes. There it is, fantastic. Oh, talking of Jaws, maybe that's why I had a dream, Lee Rin. Last night I dreamt I was being eaten by a shark. Actually started eating me. I was sort of on this boat. It was kind of weird. You know how dreams are weird. I was on this boat, and it was like, it wasn't particularly big boat. It wasn't, you know, we're going to need a bigger boat. It was sort of like the Jaws boat. Yeah, God, it was weird. But it had this massive plank that you could walk on that was sort of sitting on top of the water. So for some reason, I happened to be on that bit. And I was sitting there, and then that bit detached from the boat, and I was like, no, hang on, whoa, Captain, this is a bit wrong. I'm in the water now, hang on. And I remember trying to swing the plank back to the boat so they could grab it and pull me back in, when suddenly I saw this dark object rise up from the water, and I was like, no, that's fine, I'm going to make it. Of course, the captain's not going to let me get eaten, and they weren't really pulling up the plank. And then I actually, in the dream, the shark, I could see its little teeth, big teeth, well, little, anyway, I could see it. And I thought, oh, what do you do? You meant to hit it. So I went to hit it, but it had already started eating my leg. And I woke up at that point because I thought a shark was eating me. Ken fell into goldfish bowl again. That would have been less frightening. Oh dear, I can never watch the final duels. Whenever the poor hunter starts screaming, always fast forward to the final battle where the boat begins to sink. Seriously, it was a horrible dream but luckily you wake up and go, oh my god, thank God for that. It was just a dream. Quint, yeah. Whew. You're gonna need a bigger boat. I don't know what his accent was. Wasn't he from New Zealand? I don't know. Or Australia. So, this is the board. So, I'm going to be putting together a board. Now, this time I've put it on thin card. What I think I'm going to do is actually put it on some mount board. And then I won't necessarily attach it. So, there'll just be 8 bits of board that, just for the prototype, I'm just going to put together. Rather than try and fold them all up, and because I can't really do that. So I'm just going to have 8 bits of board. I'm going to glue these on to the back of them, and then just trim them out, and that should be the board. So that should be quite cool. And it'd be nice to have it actually on board rather than just a scrappy bit of paper. Because when I lay this flat now, it's a bit bumpy. In the book, Hooper is evil. Oh really? Oh, I've not read the book. The darkness over Arkham is really brutal. Oh, no, actually, I did start reading the book, but it was an abridged version. Oh, really? Yeah, Darkness over Arkham is really brutal. Is that Jonathan's book? But more on a cheery note, I can play the jolly drinking song, Show me the way to go home. Show me the way to go home. Neem, 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 neem. Music was not gifted to me. So there you go. So that is Devilish Deaths. That is my murder mystery game. And what else did I do within that? Oh yes. What else did I do? So part of the game is you can guess. You have 24 hours to play the game, and then you have to guess. Otherwise you lose. But during the game you can guess at any time. However, if you get it wrong, your rewards at the end of the game go down. So as I say, remember you can take rewards into the next case. So you would have fewer rewards that were given to you to go into the next case. So and I think Sally came up with this system, although let's say I did, but Sally, when they were play testing it, they wanted to guess. And I hadn't really written out the answers yet. I knew who did it, obviously, but I hadn't written it in a way that they could read it. So I said, okay, go for it. And then I just had to say, they got it wrong first. I was like, no, it's not that one. So what I've done is I've actually created some character sheets that what will happen is they'll be folded in half like this. Let me just fold this in half. Oh, it's a bit of a bodge job, that is. They'll be folded in half, and if you think, oh, okay, we think it's Colonel Reginald Maynard Smith, then you pick this up, and then inside it will say innocent or guilty, and then you read why they're innocent or you read why they're guilty. If you get it wrong, it is you still don't know who the murderer is, so you can still carry on playing the game. And then at another point, you can then take another one, because each character, each witness has their own envelope that you will open up that will be sealed. And then once it's open, obviously, you know if they're guilty or if they're innocent. So I think that's a great little mechanism there, because it means that you can carry on playing without ruining the game. Because I was going to have it where you have it in a book. But say you read you could quite easily just misread one of the pages or find out who did it. Whereas if it's in a sealed envelope, but I don't know, manufacturing wise, this is where you have to work with the publisher, because that's my idea. But they might go, oh no, it's too costly to seal things up. But it might not be, a little tab of glue, and then just a fake sort of seal, like the candle wax, just an image of that, and you just break that open. So, that's why when you design games, you do have to, obviously, the publisher will have the final say, because they're the ones putting in the money. They're the ones, investing in the game. Yes, it is. Played it with a Babel yesterday, and we died about 6 times. What was that? Oh, Jonathan's game. Oh, right, Jonathan's game book. Oh, fantastic. Is it brutal then? Jonathan, you've created a brutal game. Ken's Dream, the fish finger strikes back. The fish finger strikes back. Yeah, absolutely. I like the sound of that. And the other game that I've been working on is the game that I was talking about last week, which was it Dylan that came up with the name Misbehave, but I put the B-E-E in it. So you came up with Misbehave, and I put, oh no, it's got to be Misbehave, B-E-E. I think it was you, Dylan. So far, that's the best title that we've got for the game. And I play tested it. Heroic fish sticks as evil hot dogs. Oh, versus evil hot dogs. Oh, are hot dogs evil? Are they secretly evil? So I found this fantastic game play testing group that's nearby. It's only about half an hour drive away from me. So thank you to the guys there. There's Andy, Anthony, and Giuseppe. So I'm gonna. They meet up every 2 weeks to play test each other's games, which is great. Because I can ask friends and family, but you know, would I get an honest feedback? Probably. But then there's only so many times you can ask them to play test games, because you know, do people really want to play test games? Because they're not finished products. You know, they're not. You know, there could be. It might not be as an enjoyable evening as if you play a finished product game, obviously, because a finished product game you like to think has had all of its problems ironed out, whereas a playtesting game, you're basically saying, yeah, I don't know if there's bugs in it, I don't know if it's balanced, I don't know if it's going to be fun. So I playtested the Misbehave game, and it was very interesting to playtest it. It went on for far too long. That was the first take back, the first bit of feedback. Far too long for what the game was. I mean, I don't mind long games, but it needs to be a certain type of game to warrant the 3 hour or the hour play. It played about an hour. It needs to be 20 minutes, this game. 25 at the most, I think. So, we also, the feedback was also the scoring, too high a score to add up, because you have to add up scores at the end, and there's quite a lot of to add up. Now, you could argue, yeah, but games like Japor, there's a lot of scoring there. I kind of agree. So the scoring now is 1 to 3 rather than 1 to 6, and there's just tweaks, things like things being balanced. So, for example, the game is about laying. You know, you need flowers. You take flower tiles, and you are collecting bees, basically. And you want 1 bee of each different colour. So that's a blue bee, I've got a purple bee, I've got a red bee, I've got a black bee. There's 6 different colours. And you put them around your honeycomb, your flower. Sorry, let me show you a flower. Oh no, that's not a flower. That's clearly a bee. That should be a flower. So you put them around your... So this is the back of it. So when I cut these out, they're going to be, you know, it's just that side. And you put them around the flower. Once you've completed 6 round there of different colours, that's your score. You keep that in your scoring area for the end of the game. And then your flower, if it's your starting flower, stays in your area and you go again. You can get new flowers throughout the game. So when you take a new flower, basically anything that's in the hive, any bees that go into the hive because they can't find a flower, you get those. So as soon as a new flower comes up, you get that whole pile. Now, sometimes there was one time in particular where there was loads of bees in that hive, and it was so overpowered. I mean, I did actually win, but only just. But this guy, you know, he got it, but it was so overpowered. So a good way to change that is, rather than just have one hive, I've now got 6 different hives. That's 4. I'll just show you there. 6, just so you know that I'm not cheating. 6 different hives that you put around the main draw deck. So that looks quite pretty and has a bit more table presence. And you have 6 hives. So if a bee cannot be placed onto a flower for various reasons that's explained, then you put them. You don't put all the bees in one hive, basically. So say I had 3 bees in my hand that I couldn't place on any flower. I'd put them 1, 1, 1, and you keep going clockwise round until you've run out the bees, so that no one beehive is getting all the bees. So that when you pick up a flower, you get the bees in one beehive. No, I gave Ken the name for his bee game. Yes, that's right. Go ahead, use his idea. Oh, I see. Oh, hello. Go ahead and use this idea. It was a flash of sugar rush inspiration. Fancy. Right. After a can of sarsaparilla anyways. Oh, is it you, Lee Rin? Hang on. You might get jealous, Ken. I'm eating miniature cheese wheels. We all like a miniature cheese wheel. So hang on, Lee Rin. Sorry, Dylan. Sorry, Lee Rin, if I've caused a bit of a fight. No, I gave Ken the name for the bee game. Yes, I'd come up with the idea of the game, and at the time, I think I'd called it Around the Garden, something like that. And I was looking for a new title, and I was trying all the puns, like buzz off, buzz here, whatever, something bee-like. When I'm pretty sure it's Dylan said misbehave, and I thought, oh, that's perfect because the bees are misbehaving because they're flying around all different flowers. You play a beekeeper, and then and Dylan didn't spell it with the B-E-E in the middle, so I thought, oh, you spell it B-I-S-B-E-E-hive. That's what I recall happened. Oh dear, my brain is slow today. It was still on the track of fish snacks versus hot dogs. Flight or fancy. Yes, no, if you want to develop that game, Lirin, you go ahead. Yeah, no, it was the idea of misbehave. And the other thing that we've done in the game that the feedback generated is they felt like they wanted to protect their bees, because as soon as if someone picks a rain tile up, they can pick one player's flower to get rid of all the bees, and the bees have to go to a hive. And they felt like, is there any way we could protect those? So I've created sun tiles, and if you get a sun tile, you can put that behind one of your bees on a flower, and that it doesn't move now. That stays there, it's protected. So there is a counterbalance to something terrible happening. The other way to speed the game up, and I think it was Andy that came up with this idea, which I like. That would be a cool game. Fish sticks versus hot dogs. Is that you got the blue bee tile, but it has a green border, so that each bee has a different colour border. Yeah, so that's blue and green. That's red and black. So how that works is, when you place a bee around the tile, your flower tile, if you place if I place that there, if I place a red bordered bee tile next to the red bee, yeah, so whichever one is the red one. Okay, if I place that one next to that one, because it's a red border next to the red bee, then you gain an extra tile, so you can take another tile. So, and those are the improvements. Now, it's an interesting process designing a board game, because, and you guys know, doing anything creative, because things change, things develop, things change, things improve. Sometimes you might go over the top and make it too complex, so you have to scale it back again. So what that has done now, all these changes, is this is taking it away from a 5-year-old game, because it was, or ages 5, not as in it's 5 years old, but players, you know, because initially when I designed the game it was very, very simple, and I thought, well, okay, this is going to be for players aged 5 and above. But now, with the complexity, I'm putting it more 8+, because there's various other things you can do. The other thing that's added into the game is it's not pure chance, because before it was pretty much pure chance, pure luck. Whereas now, there's a little bit more strategic things going on. Because the other thing you can do is you can upgrade your flower points. So say you take a bee, and each bee has a score of 1 to 3 on it. If you take a 1, you can upgrade that. If you take a 3, and you've got a 1 of the same colour, so say it was a 3 red that you drew, and you had a 1 red on your flower, you could swap that out. And now you've got a 3 bee on your flower, and you've got a 1 bee just buzzing around. What you then can do is give it to another player to downgrade their score. So they downgrade their bee score. So they have to take that lower card and swap. They might have a 3, but they swap that 3 out, and then it goes into one of the hives. So that's how you get bees into the hives, as well as if there's rain, it will, you know, they go into the hives as well. So hopefully there's enough balance now between luck, when you know, because you're drawing cards, you don't know what tile you're going to get, and also between luck and strategy, like who's winning at the moment, who can I, you know, sabotage. So yeah, I think this is, you know, developing into a nice little 20-minute game, hopefully 25-minute game that's quick, that's kind of fun. There's a bit of player interaction because you're choosing which flowers you're going to nobble. Beware the Venus flytrap. Yeah, that could be the expansion. A black pudding as a super weapon. Fair enough. Yeah, for your fish sticks versus hot dog bite. Oh, actually, you've just sparked an idea for me. Rather than specifically fish sticks versus hot dog fight, just call it food fight. Call it food fight, and different foods are worth different points or whatever. It's a little card game. Here's an idea. Call it food fight. Everyone likes a food fight, don't they? So there you go. So that is my behave. So I'm going to visit my dad and his wife this weekend. So I specifically saved this cutting out and sticking. So this is a prototype that I will be cutting out and sticking together. So this is the previous prototype. So these are all the actual cards that I did for the previous one, where I've, you know, made some updates on the graphics. You know, so I'm going to have to redo all of the cards again. There's not as many cards either, so that helps with how long it actually plays. Scotch egg grenade. Yeah, exactly. If we hit Ken, we get an extra point. Oi! You could have a shield. You could have like saucepan lids that you shield yourself from the food fight. Ding! Or plates. Bing! Bing! Actually, that could work as a game. Actually, that could work as a game. Okay, so yeah, so I've got to cut all these out for my murder mystery game and stick those together, and I've got to cut out all those tiles and stick those together as well. So I've saved that to going to see my dad and his wife. So there we are. So that's basically what I've been working on. The other thing I've been working on. What? You said you worked as a teacher. Wait, you said you worked as a teacher? What's that? What's going on? As a tractor? As a theatre? I don't know where that... I don't quite know what you're saying, Martha. The other thing that I've been doing is... I have been watching the YouTube channel Adam in Wales, which is about board game design. He's a board game designer from Wales, and his name's Adam. Who'd have thought? And he's had about 8 games published in the last 10 years, which is pretty good hit rate, really, to be honest. and he's come up with this journal. He's come up with this like logbook, and it's not about designing game. It's not about the game. It's about you as a designer. How can you improve yourself as a designer and give you a bit of focus on what games you should design. You know, what games do you like? What games do the market want? You know, that kind of thing. Sorry, you said you worked as a teacher, and measuring with a food match can be hitting the teacher for X points. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. You're putting me into the game because it's food tech. I see what you're saying. Yes, I like it. Although, I kind of like the idea. I think what that game could be is actually you are mischievous monkeys or you're mischievous animals and you're just having a food fight. And the surreal element is that you're having human food, you know, so you on this big picnic, you know, is just human food and you're just throwing food about. Tips on the wolf. Yeah, exactly. Could be a wolf. So it's pretty good. So I've been filling in this journal, and it's sort of focusing me on what sort of games I like playing, what sort of games the market kind of is looking for at the moment. Well, not necessarily at the moment, but what are the popular games? It's talked about, reflective log that you fill in whenever you want, and it says, you know, when do you think you're going to do it? And I put weekly. So the first one, it says games played, lessons learned. Well, obviously, it says achievement since last reflective log. Well, I haven't done one yet, but so I put games played, my game, misbehaved, play tested, and then we play tested Andy's game, which was Grandad's Adventure, which was pretty funny. Players play people in a nursing home, and you're basically going out on adventures, and you can be really safe and not get as many points by doing activities in the nursing home, or you can venture out of the nursing home and do increasingly more adventurous things for increasingly more points. So that was a lot of fun. That was good. And also I played Loot, which is a Ryan Knizia game, which is being published by Cheatwell, who did our game. So that's not bad, is it? Ryan Knizia, he's a bit of a god in the board gaming world. And that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. And it says what lessons did I learn? So that you can still come up with newish mechanics to be used in a card game or in any game really. And also the mechanics should fit the theme. Because it becomes intuitive. Because loot is about you being pirates and you're trying to loot other pirate ships basically. Or ships, just cargo ships that sort of sail between the players. And when you want to loot that ship, you place your pirate ship opposite that ship. And if someone else wants to join in to contest it, they put their card in. So it's like ships coming in. Your cards sort of become the ships, if you like, and are pointing at which card you want to loot. So again, it's a very simple mechanic, but it was very thematic. So I thought, oh yeah, that's good. Always make sure that the mechanics, as much as they can, fit the actual theme. And then it's put achievements last reflected on the last reflective log. Well, I haven't done one, but this is not a bad opening thing to put. Had a co-designed game published, The Crooked Crown. That's pretty impressive. Created new Devilish Deaths prototype. So that's my murder mystery game. Created, play-tested new game, which is the Misbehave game. So that's pretty good. And then how did I help another creator? Well, I play-tested Andy's game and gave constructive feedback. So there you go. So it's good to sort of do that sort of thing. The next bit that I'm going to be filling in is imposter syndrome. Because a lot of people say, well, I'm not really a designer. And he said, no, if you are designing games and you're putting in the time and the effort, then you're a designer, whether you've had a game published or not. So I think that's a good mindset to have. You know, don't be shy about what you're doing. Ken found crushed under a mound of fish fingers. That sounds like my perfect dream, that does, doesn't it? Fish fingers with ketchup, obviously. Then you've got reflective log. Perspective, luck and intuition. Yeah, what's this one? Your audience. So it's good. So in between the reflective logs, there's various things that you can fill in to improve your way of thinking about design. So if you are thinking about doing board or tabletop design, I do recommend it. It's very good. And it just keeps you focused, keeps you motivated, hopefully. So there we are. That's basically what I've been working on. The next thing that I really must get onto is creating the Kickstarter for my game book, Devilish Dilemmas to Kill a Thief. So that is the next thing with the game book. That is coming out in October. You know, if you don't mind, Jonathan, I wouldn't mind a video call just to get some advice on how to do a game book Kickstarter. Because you are the master. You are the master, let's be honest. So the next stage is over the summer. I definitely want to get the Kickstarter up and running in terms of all the graphics in place, all my words in place, you know, the tier levels, the rewards. I want to cost it. I want it all to be ready. And then I'll start writing it again. Because I've done 30 entries, but I need to finish planning it all out. And then hopefully by come October, I'll have finished writing the game book. That is the plan. So that, you know, I don't know if you'll get it for Christmas, but it will be close to Christmas. Because I then need it to be play tested. So, you know, unlike a novel where you need it to be proofread and edited, this one, not only do you need it proofread and edited, but you do need it to then work. You can't have any dead ends anywhere, because then you've just got a broken game. So that is the next stage. That is the next stage. So there we go. Or maybe, Jonathan, Sally and I could come and visit over the holidays, over summer. Yeah? How about that for inviting myself to your doorstep? Don't worry, if you say no, I will find you. I'll just track you down. I'll call your agent. He hasn't got an agent. I'll talk to Ian. So there we go. Oh, I love chatting to you guys. It's brilliant. I love all your little comments, the banter. And Food Fight. I wonder if there is a game called Food Fight. That sounds fun, doesn't it? Because that can be a 20-minute game. Where you're literally just throwing cards. Maybe you actually throw the cards at the players. No, that becomes dangerous. You make triangle-shaped cards and you just throw them at each other. No, what you could do, how would that work? Because a food fight is very unstructured. So how would that work? Jonathan now plans moving. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he goes, yeah, here's my address, Ken. Yep. I live in Spain. If you could catch this plane, I'll meet you at the airport. No worries. Meet you at the airport. So there you go. Look, he's gone very quiet now, hasn't he? Right, okay, so we'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching. Our next live stream is Wednesday, 6:30. We're on part 5 of League of Thieves. We are very, very close. Very, very close to finishing this. We are just about to break into the castle and steal the scepter, because we've got 2 of our thieves, who are part of the Thieves Guilds, our friends, our thieving friends, who have been kidnapped by this mysterious man called Greycloak. So we have to break in, steal the scepter, and the deal was we give him the scepter, but we get our friends back. But will we betray him? Will we try and use the scepter against him and get our friends? That is what we'll find out. So we're just about to break into the castle. Very exciting. I do like these game books. I think they're very solid game books. They're very entertaining, and they have got their own distinct... You know, each picture is a puzzle picture. It's not just a pretty picture, it's a puzzle picture, which, you know, a lot of people like them. I think it's a good idea. I personally wouldn't use them in my game books, but then, you know, that's the beautiful thing about other people writing game books, is that you get a whole different range of mechanics and clues and different ways of doing game books, so it's great. Talking of that, where's Jam? Where's Jam this morning? Where are you, Jam? I hope everything's all right. So there we are. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Leerin. And thank you to anyone else that watched but didn't comment. If you do want a shout out, I do need you to comment, because then I can see your name. I can see how many viewers are watching, but I can't see everybody's name unless you comment. If you'd like to help the channel, then please click follow. You can also click the notifications button, bell, whatever it is, so you know exactly when I go live. I'm normally about 3 to 4 minutes late, by the way, just as a bit of heads up. But we do 3 live streams a week. We do Saturday mornings like this at 10 AM UK time. We also do Wednesdays at 6:30. That's when we do a game book playthrough, 6:30 UK time on Wednesdays. And we do a video playthrough. This time we are doing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. We've been doing that for a couple of months now because it's a big, big game, but we're really enjoying it, absolutely loving it. I mean, we might switch it up, I'm not sure. I'll have to ask the audience if they're getting bored of me playing this, because I don't mind playing it in my free time. And, because I will be playing it, I definitely will be playing it. It's like Skyrim. I know, I can see I'll be playing The Witcher 3 for another 10 years, I reckon. Because I just love these big open world games where you just explore, you take your time. There's no prescriptive way of doing it. I do like that idea. And video games are perfect for that. And that starts at 7 PM UK time. So, come join me. Thank you so much. It's been a blast chatting to you lot. I really do appreciate it. Oh yeah, and thank you, Sally. Oops, did I not say goodbye? Thank you, Sally. I really appreciate you watching, and I appreciate who you all are. Especially Sally, though. So, she's my favourite. Take care, everybody. Can I say that? I just have, Grocklesnook. I just have, mate. You're close to being a favourite. Not quite. Not after last night. Anyway, take care, and may the magic of stories flow through you always.